Good morning. So today I'm going to show you how I start to plan my collections and gather lots of ideas and inspiration for them. So the first thing I do is I go to some key websites where I pick up lots of ideas because they're generally always very much on trend. So the first website I like to go to is anthropology.com, and I believe they're all over the world, Anthropology, and they collate work from different artists, different makers, and then bring it all together in their shop. So it's almost kind of a handmade business, if you like. They basically pick and choose who they're going to take on within their shop and then obviously sell their items. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm just going to nip into home and furniture and kids and baby, because that's where I generally live when I'm creating my collections. I always aim my collections at children's decor, because I find that's the most lucrative area of the market, certainly for me, in terms of my needle felting. And I especially like to look at the mobiles as well. So here we've got lots of muted colours, lots of mustards. Obviously leopards are very much in still. And lots of these kind of muted pinks against yellows and creams. We've got this mobile here, which has got the crocodile on it in the giraffe, almost like a safari mobile. So it's kind of got a very much a safari vibe. We've got a lion, VW camper van here, crocodile, and lots of these. I like this. This is nice. Coat hook. I'm not bothered about the coat hook. I just really like the turkey underneath it. But that's pretty cool. I quite like that as an idea for doing like a head wall mount later on. All these lovely bags, so very similar in terms of their colour themes. Lots of jelly cats here as well. Flamingos, very in trend, very popular at the moment, flamingos. And then just go down, we've got some tents, we've got some whales here too. But again, all the colours are quite muted and very safari-esque in terms of the colours they've gone with. So that's quite interesting. So I'm going to make some notes about that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move over to another website called Wayfair. Now this is a UK website, but generally, again, they're very on trend. They're very on the money in terms of the kind of items that they're selling. It's very of the moment. So looking here, we've got clouds. Clouds have been in for a very long time now. I'm not sure if clouds are on their way out, really. I could be wrong. Foxes and birds on the mobiles. These mobiles are very kind of produced. There's nothing handmade about this, but I'm just having a look at this just to see if there's anything that I haven't spotted yet that I really like that I could incorporate into my work. I would say that the colours are still very muted. They're very pastel-y and grey, which is interesting. I have to say I do prefer the Anthropology colour theme. We've got some more of these kind of out of stock. Mobiles, rainbows, again very in, raindrops. So the next website I like to go to is a US website, which is target.com, and they are always extremely on trend with what they're selling. So, and especially with their colors as well, they've got everything. So I'm just going to look down here, and I am going to go to baby, and I'm going to go to nursery and nursery furniture, and I'm just going to, in fact, no, I'm not going to do nursery furniture, nursery decor, and then explore all. Okay, so let's have a little look here. So we've got lots of muted colours again. That's interesting. This is the same mobile we saw a minute ago. It's almost like they get their stock from the same source. Lots of rainbows. This is lovely. So rainbows are very in, but I would say it's the kind of the more muted colour rainbows rather than the really brightly coloured, primary coloured rainbows that we see quite often. And then let's just scroll down and see what else we have. Lots of dinosaurs. Again, this yellow is really popular. So I'd say if you can incorporate this mustard yellow into some of your work, that's really worth doing. A leopard again, very popular. And this is, of course, if you're looking at doing children's decor. I'd still look at these websites if you're not looking at children's decor, because like I said, they're all very on trend and of the moment. So if you can find things in here that they're selling, you know that if you sell them in your shop, the likelihood is that people are going to like them, and they're going to want to buy them. So I'm just going to go back, and I want to go to, let's go to mobiles. Because I tend to sell a lot, sell, it's very early in the morning here. I do tend to sell a lot of mobiles. This is nice. And this is actually felt by the look of it. Let's have a little look at this closer. So yeah, so this is like a sewn felt material mobile, but you could do that, or you could do something 3D as well. And this concept here is very easy to achieve, this circular element here with the material around it, and then you've got your ribbons coming down from a hook. That would be something that you could make relatively easily, I believe, especially with the sewn felted spaceships and things like that. So that's worth bearing in mind. And also, let's have a little look down here. Oh, we've got more safari elements, more dinosaurs, more safari, lots of lions. So I would say safari is very much on trend still. And then I'm just going to have a look at, this is another UK website called Sass and Bell. They do some really lovely, classy, muted colour children's decor. As you can see here, it's very London orientated because they're a London business. But again, we've got more dinosaurs, fire engines, more rainbows, these lovely muted colours. There's that yellow again. Let's keep going down. Polar bears, foxes, lions, lots of lions, bees. Bees are very in still. More dinosaurs, more rainbows. So I think we can say at the moment that safari, lions, rainbows and dinosaurs are all very in at the moment in terms of their popularity from what we can see in these key shops that are selling these items. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm now going to head to another website, Pantone Colour of the Year 2022. Here we go. So the Pantone colour of the year is this kind of, how would you describe it? What have they called it? Perry 17, they've called it. So this is the Pantone colour of the year. It's almost like a kind of a violety colour. So that's very in. And if we have a look, so it's called Very Perry, this colour. And then if we click into the website here, and then it will give us, so this is the colour that's very in terms of fashion, in terms of home decor. This is what Pantone have said is the main colour this year that everybody loves. So if we click down, a minute ago I saw a card and it had that yellow on it again. If I could just click back, that yellow that we keep seeing cropping up. So I think if you are making a collection, you really do need to think about incorporating this colour and also this pink as well. We see a lot of this pink around. So these two colours here, incredibly popular. And also, if you can, you want to try and incorporate this Very Perry colour as well, because being Pantone colour of the year, all those eagle-eyed customers that are very on trend and looking to sort of be of the moment will want to be looking for things like this. So now we have sort of got an idea of the kind of things we want to be making. The next thing we want to do is head over to Pinterest. So you have to excuse my mess of a Pinterest board. So let's just see if that loads very slowly. Right, let's go into here and let's go search. And let's go for needle felted lion and just see what comes up. Here we are. So ideas, we've got a lot of he looks like Aslan, he's beautiful. So we've got these needle felted lions here. This is quite cute. This is quite a simple needle felted lion. This would look really lovely on a mobile. Now, what I'm not saying is I'm not saying to copy this. Absolutely not. We don't want to be copying. We just want to be taking inspiration. So what you want to do is you want to start your board off. So I'm going to save this one. I'm going to save it to a new board called very originally Lions Create. And I might stick some other safari animals in there as well, just to kind of mix it up a bit. I like this. This is very straightforward. So let's save him. And he's cute. Let's save him too. I love this fur around his head here. That's awesome. And what else have we got? I tend to stay away from the more realistic looking felted creatures because I'm kind of aiming my things at children. They're going to be more interested in the larger eyes and the more kind of round simplistic features. Whereas I mean, these are absolutely beautiful, these needle felted lines here, but they're a bit too intricate And I also have to think, you also have to bear in mind the time it's going to take you to make these items. If you're going to be making, if you're an artist where you're making one-off sculptures and you're selling them for thousands of pounds, then you live here. This is where you live all day long. And you make these very, very realistic looking lions or whatever it is you choose to make. If you're making something that's more, that you can produce in a larger volume, not saying you want to bang them out really quickly, but something you can produce over a shorter period of time, then you really want to be looking at things that are more simplistic and easier to create. So this is cute. I like this. I'm going to save this as well. And then I'm also, just to be really annoying for those of you who like organisation and are a bit OCD, I'm going to also Google cheetah, and I'm going to stick him in my lion. I don't know if I've spelled that right. Yeah, potentially. Needle felted. And just see what we get here as well. So needle felted cheetah. What have we got? Let's scroll down. That's beautiful, but it's a bit too intricate for what I'm looking for. No, right. So my next place to go to is cheetah cartoon, and have a look and see what we have here. So we have some really cute things here. I really like the eyes of this one, so I'm just going to save this. Scroll down. It's not a huge amount that's jumping out at me for cheetahs, but it's that kind of running cheetah look. Oh, this is very in, but again, this is more of an art thing rather than something that we're going to achieve through needle felting. I mean, you could do that, but again, I don't think it sits in babies' mobiles, which is what I'm looking at doing. Keep scrolling down. Okay, I think I've exhausted that, and I'm going to have one more look, and I'm just going to look at needle felted rainbows. More ideas. Right, here we go. So needle felted rainbows. What have we got? So we've got this. This is pretty awesome, but I don't think it's something I'm going to make for my next collection. This is kind of the colours that we're looking at, so I'm going to save this. I'm going to save it to a new board, which I'm going to create, called Rainbow Mobiles. And just keep looking, just have in mind what we've obviously looked at through Target, through Sass & Bell, those shops that we've identified that are very on trend, and then go to Pinterest and then just find things that really resonate with you and that you think fit in with those current trends and that your customer base will like. So I'll just see if I can find any more rainbows that I like. Some very cool unicorns there. They're awesome. And he's lovely. I know he's obviously, I'm just going to save him. I'm going to save him to here. But he's with the dinosaurs as well. That's really super cool. I love him. So this is the kind of thing that I really enjoy making, and I find is very, very popular within my shop. And then we've got some other things down here. He's lovely as well. Let's save him to that one as well. And then you can go on and on and on. So once you've collated all of your pins that you want to use as inspiration, the next thing you want to do is go to your pins. So saved. So go to, let's say we have a look at fairies here. This is a board that I started a little while ago. And here, this is where I've been looking at different face shapes and ways of looking at fairies, and perhaps elements that I want to then incorporate into my work. So I've got a bit of the dark crystal here as well, because you can't beat a bit of the 80s. And then I've also got in here, what's really great with Pinterest is that you can also find these images where you've got body shapes. So I can really focus on the kind of body shape I want to achieve with my work as well, if I'm making something like a fairy or a human. So I'll take all of these pins, and I'll take different elements from these pins that I really like. So for instance, I really love this little chap here with the top hat. I think that's wonderful. So I think I'd quite like to make something that incorporates a top hat and a fairy, but not copying him, but just incorporating that top hat. And then scrolling further down, I love this as well. This is kind of more of a humanoid fairy, kind of not really, or a bit alienish, I guess. So not really your standard fairy. He looks a bit more sort of strange, but I think very cute. So maybe I'd like to incorporate something with this kind of face shape, And this kind of body shape with a top hat perhaps. And then what else have we got here? Again, this is really useful for creating body shape. And I love this as well. I love the lines of this and how the wings kind of come out. It's just got these beautiful sweeping lines that just look wonderful. And I think to incorporate that into a piece of children's decor would be wonderful. And then also bringing in the body shape of the other fairy we looked at a moment ago and that top hat. So that is how I create my art, is by basically kind of taking little bits and pieces from other artists, but not plagiarizing, and then bringing them all together to create something new. So what I will do now is, now I've got all of those things collated, I will now move on to start designing my collection. So I'm going to make another video so you can see how I do that, but I hope you found this useful, and I really hope this has inspired you to now go on today onto those websites, onto Pinterest, and start thinking about how you want to make your collection. And I'd really start looking at getting ready for Christmas now, because although we're in August, it won't be long and all the shops will start having their Christmas items in. So I mean, ideally you want to start doing it in July, but you know, if you could start sort of sorting it out now, getting those ideas on paper, start making your sculptures ready for the Christmas markets, shops, Etsy shops and everything like that, that would be ideal. And then you're ready to go for when everything hits in October. But I hope you found that useful. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. Please let me know how you get on, if you find this really helpful, and I will see you tomorrow with more felting hints and tips. See you then. Bye.